Must know expressions about time in English. Now, if you think about it, time is such an important part of everybody's life, right? We are able to accomplish certain things based on how much time we have. Every day, we're limited by time. Because of that, there are so many expressions that have to do with time because it's such an important concept in our life. It's only natural that we have expressions with it. And we love using these time expressions as well. So in this video, I'm going to teach you 5 of the most common. Of course, I'm Jennifer from jforcesenglish.com, and these expressions are going to help you sound fluent, natural, like a native English speaker. So let's get started. Better late than never. This is a really good expression because it tells you that it's okay if you don't accomplish a specific goal in the timeline you wanted. That's okay. The important thing is that you just are trying to accomplish that goal. It's okay if you're doing it a year late, even. It's better late than never. So we generally use this as a stand-alone expression. So let's say that a friend of mine is telling me that, last year they bought a piano because they really wanted to learn piano. It's been a lifelong dream for them. They love the sound of a piano. They listen to piano music all the time. And since a little girl, they've wanted to learn how to play piano. So a year ago, my friend goes out and buys a piano, puts it up in her living room. It's beautiful. She's so excited. And then she gets really busy with work, and then she gets busy with life, with her family, and all of a sudden, months go by, and my friend has never sat at that piano. She's never played the piano. This is a situation we've all been in, right? We all have been there. We can all relate to that example. I know I certainly can. Now, eventually, let's say my friend finally calls a piano teacher and schedules her first lesson. And my friend is telling me this story, but she doesn't feel very good about it because she feels disappointed in herself that she waited an entire year and her piano has just been sitting there collecting dust. To make my friend feel better, I can just simply say, better late than never. Better late than never. Simple words that will really encourage someone and help them change their perspective and hopefully just focus on the result, the fact that they did schedule the lesson, they're learning the piano now, they're going to start seeing progress now, so who cares about what happened in the past? Better late than never. So excellent expression because you can really use it to cheer up a friend or a coworker when they're not feeling so good about their procrastination. Spur of the moment. I'll repeat that. Spur of the moment. Okay, this is a good one. Might sound a little weird. Spur? What's a spur? Spur of the moment. Honestly, I don't know when else we use spur other than this expression. So just keep it in mind for this expression. Don't worry about spur outside of this expression. I don't even know what it is. Spur of the moment. This is when you do something spontaneously. So spontaneously means it wasn't planned. So to do something spur of the moment means that you just do something without a plan in place, without thinking about it in advance. So it happens quite suddenly. You can think of it as well. I could tell my friend, I just booked a vacation to Mexico. And then she could ask me, oh, wow, how long have you been thinking about this? And I could say, oh, I booked it spur of the moment. I booked it spur of the moment. So of course this tells my friend that in fact, I didn't think about it until I booked the ticket. It was totally spontaneous. Now, whether or not you do something spur of the moment, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Totally depends on the situation, right? So you'll have to consider that as well. Once in a blue moon. This is one that I find a lot of my students already know, which is really cool because it is a very common expression and it will make you sound very fluent and natural. So to do something once in a blue moon means that you don't do it frequently. You do it rarely. But keep in mind, what is infrequent for you might not be infrequent for me. So it really depends on your definition of what's infrequent or what is rare in your daily routine. Now, for example, I go to the movies once in a blue moon. Now, movies, that's cinema. Like I go to the cinema. In North America, we don't really say cinema. We just call it movies. I go to the movies once in a blue moon. Now, for me, that's true. I think this activity is infrequent and is rare in my daily routine. But I still go to the movies like once a year. So once a year, for me, I consider that to be rare. Maybe somebody else would think once in 5 years is rare. So it really depends on your daily routine. So whatever you consider to be infrequent or rare in your daily routine, you can say, I do that activity once in a blue moon. In broad daylight. This one's good. In broad daylight. So we have to have the broad here. I can't just say in daylight. It doesn't have the same effect. In broad daylight. So this means clearly visible to everybody. Because imagine if it's daylight, if it's, let's say, 1:00 p.m., the sun is shining, everything is clearly visible in broad daylight. So we use this when we are surprised that an activity happened in broad daylight. For example, true story, several years ago, my bike was stolen in broad daylight. So my bike was in a location that was clearly visible to everybody. It was a very public location. And generally, when you expect something like your bike being stolen, you think it's an activity that happens at night or in a back alley where there aren't lots of people walking by because the robber doesn't want to be caught. And if people are around, it's more likely the robber will be caught, right? So that's why it's surprising that my bike was stolen in broad daylight. To add a little more irony to this situation, my bike was stolen in broad daylight right across from a police station. Can you believe that? It actually happened because I used to live across from a police station and I lived right downtown in a very busy area, lots of people walking by. I'm just so surprised that my bike could get stolen in broad daylight and nobody noticed. To race against the clock. This is an excellent expression. One that is very common and one that we all do. Some of us might do it more than others. To race against the clock is when you have a deadline that you're trying to meet. For example, let's say I finish work at 5 o'clock. Right now, it's 3 o'clock. and my to-do list is still really long, and I have to get it done by 5 o'clock because at 5:30 I have to pick up my friend from the mall. So I can't push back the time I finish work. I have to end at 5 o'clock if I'm going to get to the mall and pick up my friend. And my friend and I have a dinner reservation at 6 o'clock. So I can't be late to pick up my friend, and we can't be late for the dinner reservation. So I have quite a few timelines that I need to race against the clock to achieve. So I have to race against the clock and try to finish everything on my to-do list before I leave at 5 o'clock. But then I also have to race against the clock to pick my friend up from the mall. And if I'm leaving at 5 o'clock, that's rush hour in every place around the world. 5 o'clock is rush hour, right? So that could be quite a tight timeline. So I have to race against the clock to meet my friend. And then my friend and I have to race against the clock to get to our dinner reservation at 6 o'clock. So it doesn't have to be just work related. It doesn't have to be a project timeline. It can simply just be any work you need to do, any task that you need to do, chores, errands that have a timeline to them. It's a tight timeline. You're not sure if you're going to make it. You need to race against the clock. All right, so now you have 5 expressions with time. This will probably be a video you need to watch again so you can practice them, write out some sentences as well. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy studying. Hey, you're back! That's awesome! You're ready to keep learning? Well then watch this video. I know you're going to like it. And don't forget about this video. This one's really good too. And don't forget to subscribe so you'll receive all the notifications when I post a new video. Thanks so much for being here. You're awesome. Bye!